Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of the 12th of May 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel, all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Let's try to make sense of some of these markets, focusing within Bitcoin and that of Theta. Starting off with Bitcoin in at 8,906. As the price has been in a pattern of higher highs and higher lows since the Rudy Gobert incident in March 11th. I think it was March 12th. Should be March 12th date here. Yep, because March 11th is when it happened, the nighttime. The cancellation, the start of the cancellation and lockdowns of society as we guess know it today. And a lot of these markets that day fell March 12th. Bitcoin, the dollar, well, I don't know about the dollar, but the Bitcoin, the precious metals, gold and silver, and the stock market all had significant red capitulation style down days. And then the recovery from that point. Some markets recovering better than others, as Bitcoin has managed to get up close to its previous highs from where it was in February. And during this run of higher highs and higher lows, the last place to which we came from, we haven't went down towards such as 7,100 to 7,300. It did find so far some support within this 18 average of lows, which has thus been now going sideways. Thus, the area, okay, we'll see how we play within this low. Does this trend continue? If it does, it needs to get above these 18 average of highs and then go further higher. 95.50 is the level I'd be looking at for a break above the highs. The support has been established. We can see it around 8,100. Thus, just by looking at the daily and that earlier level that I showed or talked about here, it's low 7,000. If this is the given area, looking at a 1,000-point drop, maybe 12-13% to go. Single hour term, what can we do to make sense of this? Well, we had support here, down in here, several of these times. But we do see lately, over the last few hours, a nice little constructive pattern where we're making higher highs and higher lows as far as the 18 average in an uptrend, consolidating, stay in 3 periods within this level in here. Previous resistance has not been tested, but if it goes any further, we're looking at what happened at 91.58. Getting up north of that, then we'd be looking probably at the previous support here, about 95 to 9,600. And let's take a look at this on the more longer term analysis, because weekly everything is still pretty much in the when are we going to end this neutrality? It's got to break out or down at some point, because uptrend still hasn't done anything, although it's getting close to violating this particular downtrend. And furthermore, and looking at this and just focusing amongst the 18 previous key levels and such, it's got to get north of where we came from in here, around 12,000, 13,000 area. 4, we're obviously resisted and sidelighting this area here in the 9,000, 8,000, 7,000 range. If we break resistance, yeah, this is just short-term intermediate level going up to here. But I suppose if we break north of 15.8 area kind of deal, this thing looks poised and ready to get going, because, again, weak resistance I'd be talking about here. I would most certainly feel is in play. We can most certainly see more neutrality and just wait for the breakout or breakdown type of stage when looking at this on the monthly chart. There, that is the Bitcoin analysis. Let's take a look at Theta, both against Bitcoin and against the dollar. And I guess I'll start with the most longest term time frame of the monthly, and there's really not much on here. The 18 just starting to kick in here. That's a little declining, going sideways. You can say it's trying to break this neutrality stage, but getting above the 18 average of highs here, so an attempt to get this thing going is what I can make from this. Price action 2,038 at levels not seen since the previous April. 13-month highs now. Weekly chart. Well, that was this high, and that was this short move. So these moves can be fast, they can be slow. This here, you can't see the data in here with the Huobi data. It was 4 weeks to go up to this high. And then this was about 6 hours. I guess this might have been about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 6 or so, 7 weeks. And it's attempting to do this now. And it's pretty much on like week number 2-ish or so. if it's going to do it. And that's have a significant break. There has been resistance here, and that's so passe. And there was a little bit of this resistance in here. It's gotten above that. Then there was this little bit here. It's gotten above that as well. I suppose the easiest way of looking at it is maybe just put a line right at this high because, I mean, that's like 1900-ish. Well, let's just see what the exact number here is. High 1930. So I got a line at 1926. That'll be fine. Clearly, I can see that is marginally broke above it already. Thus, highs not seen since this down period. Thus, break of key resistance. Start of a newly rising 18, either real move or failed move. Real move, the 18 average of lows is going to support, and you're probably going to find support at where we come from, or where we came from. And we can see resistance between 1283, we got a little bit here at 1450 right now, a little bit of 1670. So if we're getting any pullbacks, that's where it's going to go. And then coinciding with the 18 average of lows, and the 18 average of lows in here is still at, I can get the exact number on the top left, 1217. And that's been where all these pullbacks have came down to, are these low. And this one just lower, but the low like 1200 in here, it's been like 1000 or so here. So the 18 average of lows was at like even at like 960 at one point, as the price was below 1000, stabilizing at one point. Saying that twice in a row, whatever. So it's attempting to break in here, newly broken pattern. We also can see two green candles up, the sideways pause and the newly break. When these things have significant moves, this ain't that significant right now. Daily chart. It's a significant day, to a degree. The to a degree is because it's 18.94%. And 18.9% up justifies this nice looking green candle move up. Volatility, of course, ain't large. Looking at Binance an hour or so back, when the price was about the same at 2040 or so, I suppose. It was the number one gainer against Bitcoin, barely, at 24% over the last 24 hours. And overall, generally speaking, this is a solo gain. And anything having good moves right now, the markets aren't doing this normally. So we're not having what I would like to consider, and we're still way due for that, of a dartboard rally. A dartboard rally, I use that term in such that pretty much every single altcoin goes up and at good rates. And I use the word pretty much alt to that of dartboard because at least the way I used to throw darts, I mean, I could hit somewhere on the dartboard, one of the numbers or the bullseye, basically something that wasn't zero, more times than not, like 90+% of the time, 95 whatever percent. I mean, I always hit the board, but sometimes you didn't, meaning 40, 50, 60 coins, practically all but maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are going to go up. That's the general way of me why I call it the dartboard rally. At some stage, I think that's going to come into play. And then if one were to start, this thing could just, well, this thing's got the potential, I think, to shoot upwards. I got right now 12,000, 13,000. I'm going to get to that when I get to the dollar version for the reason why. And it could probably even be bigger than that. But, again, when we look at the more longer term, this was a resistance of 5,000. So where we're going to go to next is previous high between 3,500 and 5,000. Breaking 3,500 and 5,000, if it, does it? That's, wow, if it does. But again, now that it's made the statement going here, my intended targets are that of 35 to 5. And my intended target after that would be at least 10, 12,000, 13. Probably even closer to 2024, but I won't get into that for now, or I'm not going to calculate that till I would see it, A, gets there, and B, I can work with better data to do so. Okay, so back to the shorter term. This level of previous high was resisted at midnight last night with a little bit of a pullback. It was resisted again at 4 in the morning with a little bit of a pullback. Taken out at 8 a.m., pulling back to this line. At least to here, because we see intra move within the 8-hour stamp. It highs at 1971. It comes back to this line at 26. And then we can see starting at the 9-hour stamp, it proceeds to go higher and establish resistance at 2,000 and, well, 2/3 or 2067 area. The 11 o'clock stamp, it comes back to where it came from on so many fronts. So many fronts because of these highs and the way back when highs. And even came back to it twice, the 10 o'clock stamp and the 11 o'clock stamp. And we'll see it more when we go 15 and 4 minute time frames. And then we have this breaking out at 12 o'clock, 10 minutes left in the hour, so nice hold hour. That's pretty nice to see. 4 minute time frame, we can see how it comes to this level. Well, here, here, here. So 3 times this magnificent support. We have supported this layer of resistance in here on the more, even looking at a shorter term. If it breaks resistance, well, now I'd want to see support come in at between 2000 and 29, and this resistance highs of about, well, 2080 even. But as it goes, it has to really make a move above this 18 average of highs. Right now, it can still be used as resistance. It could break to below the support and have a retest of 1926. As it goes for me as a trader, I mean, I pair trade this, ratio trade this with so many other coins, and I mean, I've been just selling them, selling Theta like crazy against other coins, and I'll continue to do so if it continues to go up. At some point, I'm going to be looking for a pullback, and the faster this goes up, the more intense even, more intense the pullback. See, we could pull back here and come back down. Well, it's obvious where we're going to now, like 1200, 13, 1400 as the must-hold area. Another way of putting it is, okay, how about weekly? Where's the 18 average of lows on here? And okay, so it's rising up to 13. So yeah, that's where we would go. But what happens if this goes to, like, say, 5,000? Even better yet, even before then, it goes to 28, 29, 31. Well, now I'm going to be looking for it to come back to, like, between 1,600 and, like, 2,000 now. And if it goes to 5,000, well, maybe 2,000, maybe 24. And if it breaks to like 12, 14,000, maybe it comes back to 5. And no matter what, it's going to have a decent sized pullback. It's just at what level will it top? And this top, I mean, calling a top here is so dangerous. That's, I think, something I really want to point out. And yeah. Anyway, Theta next against the US dollar. So this is what we got. We're at a major level of resistance here. This was the high when this started. Price was below here before then. So there's a level of resistance it tested at around 28 cents. Congesting some highs later on the intermediate term, the 18 cent, this big level, 15 to 18, 20 cent level. That November 30th move comes up here. When it hit 5,000 Satoshi, it did so when Bitcoin was like $3,000 or $4,000 price area, a $4,000 price point. So now it's at the same price point it was before against the dollar, not so much against Bitcoin, of course, as we've seen prior. A lot of this resistance in here. And then here. And here. And here we are today. The more often you test a level of support or resistance, the more likely it is you take it out. And when you take out key levels of support and resistance, it's usually a significant leg that you're going to go towards. Overall, the message of this market is by a certain, like, choppy, neutral kind of deal. I mean, it hasn't sustained anything above the 18 average of highs. When it's gotten above it, we'll see now if it can, because it's gotten above it again. And it's not sustaining anything below the 18 average of lows either. I mean, the best it did was in here, but even then, this was all it could do. So sideways consolidation. The support has been around 7 and 7/9, like 0.077ish area, and that down to like 5 cents even. In fact, I had a nice consolidation here at 5 for quite some time. So a break above this, I'm going to give you the best that I can for established resistance, and I'm not even going to use any type of mathematics or Fibonacci. There's no calculator needed. The first one is previous high. And this is more intermediate term, I think, because it's not that as significant of a break. That's north of 20. That's 25 to 28 cents in this area here. And it also does have an okay size move, I would suppose, breaking this level. So it kind of clarifies that. But if we're going to have a significant break of this entire range, where are we going to go? And I'm just going to quote JSNP4, quoting somebody else, and that somebody else is Miss White Dove. I'm just trying to, trigger the right buttons to push. Suppose I can go like this and remove the drawings. And let's bring it to the price level. White Dove is dead. There, that'll work. Way back when was when the thing pretty much came out, like March of 2018. On a JSNP4 video, she comes out with a price target that's going to break $1,000 US. And when you look at it from this perspective, it's not the most out of reach, highly targeted if you look at it from here on a logarithmic scale, which is a proper way to look at charts when they have those exponential gains. And in the world of cryptos, exponential gains and then some. So therefore, yeah, I suppose, but I mean, if she's to make a call like that and the thing gets up to 24, 25 or whatever, I mean, thank you kind of deal. That's spectacular in itself. Now, that was what she said back then. Just recently, and this recently is still a while ago, at least a week or two ago, I remember just watching one of the videos. Apparently, this stuck in my brain. Miss White Dove stated the key dollar numbers are going to be just that. So we have $1. So that's the short answer where we break in resistance, and probably be looking at like a $1.50, $1.82 kind of deal, maybe even 2.5. It could easily be an intra-move high, but a buck to be a solid key noticeable level. And when I talk about Fibonacci, how they pierce extra, this could easily be the same case. So 1 is a key level. And then after that, it's 10. That's the key level. Then after that's 100. And then 1,000. So a lot of it could be where makes a move up to like here. And then maybe it does multiple things. 1, consolidates amongst a level like this. And 2, pulls back. Like this kind of deal. And then we do the same sort of deal here, same sort of deal here, and probably on a toppy level, the same sort of deal here. When I say toppy level, that could be defined in 2 different ways. And it might be the latter, the first one. Because it's a significant top, and it's like boom, and you get like this. Any highs are lowers for matching highs. And it's just levels you don't see in a while. AKA $50, 1980 silver. Or final highs. And I think this is going to be an interesting real thing. And final highs is the final price something is against the dollar. Like gold, silver, Bitcoin, and I suppose Theta. And of course I'm referring to that of the end days of something. Anyway, let's do a little bit of a bonus because this thing hasn't been cooperating too much with me. And we'll see if it does or not. I just want this thing to pull back. See, with Theta, I've been controlling the moves because my trading strategy states if something goes straight up, I don't like it. And that's exactly what both DGB and Theta have been doing, considering other coins are going down and sideways. Mainly down lately, actually, too. And that means I want choppy markets, especially when I talk about ratio trades. And that's why I want these coins to pull back or other coins I trade them against to go up. DGB, I don't have as high of holdings, and I'm kind of at 380. There's a decent chance I would run out of what I want to sell. With that of Theta, well, I guess I'm doing fine until 6, 7, 8,000 Satoshi. And then I'm going to probably be in problematic state of low inventory and selling a lot. But when that happens and you get your pullbacks, it works fantastic. And that's kind of, I'm hoping, because I trade this against GRS, and maybe if GRS could just have a huge, like 100, 200% day, week kind of deal, that'd be fantastic for me. But markets do what they do. I got these alerts because I was looking to buy down here if it came to 160, but this most recent pullback didn't do such, finding support at the 18 average of lows. So this uptrend that I see on the daily time frame is still in play. And with the move that we see, the possibility of breaking, well, it has broke the 18 average of highs. And even these layers of resistance here on May 9th and 10th, it's getting above as well, because that layer comes in around 240. It's right now 243 with an intraday high in at 248. The lately high is 294. And then when you look at the highs before, this is where it gets sick. Because you got a high here around 640. You got a high here around 870 and 2500. I mean, this is just sick. And before it was 2500, this is something that was trading at 24. Pulling back from 54. And I mean, it was getting its ass kicked in here. And that's the thing about with a lot of the coins that you would be going through. I mean, a lot of this stuff goes on. It just, you get your ass kicked for a significant period of time. And for a significant amount of time. Well, significant amount on the move that is. Significant period of time. This is a case where it went from April of one high to like almost a calendar year. And a lot of this one we're currently on, we're talking about highs in like 2.5 years almost now. But we've had the significant amount that it lost. This went from like, well, not only that was higher than before with this move, but 180 Satoshi down to 24. So there you are losing like 7-8x, and then all of a sudden, this happened. And then, of course, it's been doing that down, and, well, are we ready for a possible another decent-sized move higher? Well, it's done this, maybe. But I'm just basically stating that when these things go and they're ready to go, they can obviously have phenomenally large, fantastic moves. I'm not guaranteeing one way or another. I still think this is high probability it's going to go the target of 380 right in here. And I hope it tops there if it does, because I'm not going to have anything left after it goes north of it. And thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.